Hello everyone, so today I'm going to be going over a bit of a heated topic about whether or not the Sherman from MTC4 is overpowered or not. Now before I start, I want to go over that this information is not only sort of sparse, because I didn't want to waste the person I was working with's time, it's also being tested in a perfect environment where there's nobody in the vehicle whatsoever, which is never the case. So don't take this as like yes or confirmed or anything like that. I'd also like to say that I didn't buy this vehicle. I don't have this vehicle. I can't test it. I can't test it as much as I wanted to. So, with that disclaimer out of the way, I'm going to be going over whether or not I think the Sherman is overpowered or not. So, let's get into what I have. So, before I even start, I want to say the way I see the Sherman is I see it as a main battle tank, similar to the free one you get for free. And I think it fills in that role as about as good as the normal. Well, not as I'll get into that, but it fills the same sort of role that tank does. And there's not many. There's a lot of differences, but in terms of how they play, there is very little difference. The only difference is that the Sherman has a little bit less range, but it also has a stabilizer and a better turret for the commander. Other than that, I'm going to get into the stuff I tested with. So the first tank we decided to test was the light tank. Now, before I play the clip, where do you think the ammo on the Sherman is? Like, visualize it in your head if you've never visualized it before. Do you think it's in the front, like the regular Cold War MBT? Do you think it's in the turret with the other MBT? Or, well, no, you'd be wrong, because it's in the bottom or the back, which is it. You can hit it, but it's in a really weird spot. And that comes up with my first problem with the Sherman, is that it does not get punished the way it should be punished for getting flanked. You can hit the turret ring and you can damage it. Its turret ring is extremely weak, but other than that, you're not going to penetrate it except for the ammo, I think, and maybe hit some of the crew. But the Sherman will not get as heavily punished as, say, a regular NBT does, where if you put 2 shells in the back of it, it kills the entire tank. Now, this next part was an NBT versus a Sherman, and basically a basic engagement of a Sherman versus an NBT. In our testing, we figured out that the cupola, the little turret ball thing, does nothing. Like, no matter what they say, it does nothing. Like, I've shot it twice with the main gun, and I think it may have penetrated once. But it's such a small target that you would never be able to hit that realistically. Even with not even considering the fact that the tank would be moving as it's firing, usually. So it's just, anytime anyone says, aim for the ball in the front of the ring, no, it's just not realistic to hit that. Another thing I brought up is that you can't penetrate it at all in the front except for the turret ring again. It's dumb. And another thing is that usually when people talk about the Sherman, they say that its gun sucks. Okay. I guess I can maybe see why. It seems to be a lot less powerful. It has 40 rounds, and it reloads fairly quickly. No, it doesn't. It's just it two-shots the MBT. It two-shots it instantly. Like, what? Who says that this fucking gun sucks? It does not. It's the best gun in the game for an NBT as of now. It literally just punches holes through the standard NBT like it's made out of fucking paper. Like, what? Like, and again, this is another thing, is that balancing is never taken into consideration in this game. Because moving on. So, my final verdict is that the Sherman is just a better MBT in general. It has many of the things that I think the MBT should be having in the first place. It should have stronger armor, a better gun, but maybe a bit weaker sides. But it's just that, why does the Sherman, a vehicle that I have to pay 1,000 Robux for, or like $10, I believe, to get an actual useful main battle tank, and I know that there's going to be a remodel coming soon, but why was that not considered before adding the Sherman? Why couldn't the Sherman just be the replacement? Because the Sherman, it does the role fairly well. But I guess we can't really do anything about that now, because now it's a a rich person vehicle. But I hope the next the MBT remake that they're making for the old version is going to be this either competent to the Sherman or potentially even maybe a little better than the Sherman in terms of armor. But that's just my 2 cents. Anyways, I have to go do stupid shit like sleep. I hope you all have a horrible day. I hope you get very angry about my hot take. Have a good day.